You grew up here in the mainland, and you went to public school, Chinese public school.
Yep.
Right? Well, right across from your house, right?
Yeah. So I went to that public school and high school, because I think it's around 6th grade, you have to go to middle school, right?
Right,
So our
middle
school, going into middle school, my mom was checking out different schools and what our options were. And I think it was around 12,000 RMB a year, a semester. And that would be like what, 2,000?
For public school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
Back then less.
Yeah.
1,500.
Yeah. So, and the school actually said, well, if you're coming in with 5 kids and you guys are willing to pose on our billboard, we'll give you a discount.
Right.
So that's what we did.
So why public school? I mean, okay. So I said before, I got 2 kids, right? And they're born in China, and they're going to Chinese school, but private schools, right? And even that is maybe a bit crazy now, right?
Yeah.
Most foreigners send their kids to international schools.
Yeah.
But it's even more public school, right? It's the most hardcore Chinese school.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
So I think that my dad, I mean, I'm not really sure about why private, like not local Chinese school, like why private or a public. But I know that my dad was really against us going to international school because he was like, you're here to learn Mandarin and you're here to like, and so he kind of set that, like sailed that ship years and years ago.
And what he didn't tell you is like, it costs too much money.
Yeah, maybe.
Had you gone to a different school, I had not met you. Because if you don't remember, I used to be your teacher.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Well, you used to sit in my class.
Yeah.
You used to sit in my
Which
class.
school? When was that?
Taotian.
So like in the public school, in that school?
Yeah. I used to teach there, and whenever I didn't know what to say, like, Rachel, can you translate what I'm trying to tell this 40 kids?
Yeah.
Right.
That's how we
He
met.
just
Really?
kind of gave away how old he is.
So
not an issue.
So you went to public school, and you have 4 sisters and 1 brother, right? And all of you went to public school, Chinese public school. And
we got into so much trouble. Like,
right.
For
and you
example,
were the only foreigners?
We were the only
Always,
foreigners,
yeah.
So my mom and my dad don't speak Mandarin or Cantonese because they were like, we have 5 translators.
Yes.
So they really made us translate. So they would go to parent-teacher conferences, and the teachers, like even the English teachers, had really poor English.
I can
at
see
that
where
time.
this is going, but yeah. Okay.
So my mom and my dad would be a little bit more clever than we thought. They would be like, okay, so Rachel, you translate for your brother Christian, and Christian, you translate for Rachel.
God,
so they'll do a little swap-a-roo in case that we, like
adjust the version.
Yeah. So what we would do, we just came up with deals. Be like, Christian, you say, like, you translate a little bit better for my academic scores, and I'll do a little bit better. So we would just do like, Rachel hasn't done homework this whole semester, and my brother would be like, she can improve on her homework.
Did your parents figure it out in the end?
No. And now I can I can joke about it because it's like
they know now.
Yeah, they know now.
Okay.
Yeah, they know now.
Right.
After I got my master's in law, like it's funny now.
So okay, so you went to public school. I mean, those back then, I mean, is it also like now 50 kids in a class, 60 kids in a class?
Yeah.
All right. So you were the only white kids there.
Exactly.
Right. And how about, did you get bullied?
Yeah.
Okay, so go.
Yeah, no, so I think that I never got bullied.
You never got bullied. Okay.
I got like, I don't even know how to say it, like the opposite of bullying. Like I got praised.
What I was about to say. You guys got privilege. I remember you guys could run out of the classroom because you had to, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
we were so spoiled, and we got away with a lot.
But I did hear, because my kids go to Chinese schools, and I did hear, I mean, I agree with you. They're privileged, right? But I heard that maybe later you get some white kids in Chinese school get bullied. So you never experienced that? Never?
Yeah.
Any of your sisters or?
No, I think that, and like, I wouldn't even say, like, I would just say, no, we never.
Because you're different, or maybe you're just this personality that never even noticed it.
I think they were just like, oh, look at these foreigners, they're here. And they were just so in awe of us. And I think the fact that we did speak Mandarin did kind of show them that we're not here to just mess around. Like we're in the culture.
I think that was a huge factor of inclusion. Not exclusion, or you look different, but you were the same because you ate the same, you did the same thing. So
Right.
I was having a conversation with my friend from Australia. He's Asian but grew up in Australia, and he was saying how he was the only Asian kid at his school, and he got bullied a lot for being the only one. And I was like, well, that's like the opposite, but I got I was really popular.
How about friends? I mean, as foreigners, but you spoke Chinese, of course. I guess your friends were Chinese.
They were, yeah. So growing up, there weren't many expat families that were my age. So I didn't have like a lot of like foreign friends that were in the same situation. And if they were, like I can think of like 2 or 3, but they all went to international school. So they didn't really get what I was talking about with my school and like my problems, stuff like that. So I think we did get the best of both worlds. You know, we got the Chinese school, but we got really privileged. So like we didn't have to do homework.
But
like,
did you see? Did you? Okay, you got the best of both worlds. Now you understand that. Did you always realize that, or it took you time? I mean, or any of your sisters also?
I think we realized how much we can get away with really early on.
Right.
Like we would tell our teachers, "Oh, sorry, we have to do a visa run, and we can't go to school tomorrow."
That's the thing. Did you get a student visa back then? Or
yeah, we did. We
did get a student visa.
Yeah.
Right. So already back then.
Yeah, and that was like they were really free with it. They were just like, "Oh yeah, here's a 4-year student visa, 3-year student visa," and it was like really easy to get. And yeah.
Hey, we just asked you this and that about single one child family or large family. You mentioned you would like to have a large family as well. Would you send them to any international school or Chinese school?
Chinese school.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
For sure. Okay, so I went to international school for a year. I got a scholarship to go there. And when I went there, because it's so insanely expensive that it's just like, my parents were like, we're not even considering it. Even with the scholarship, my parents were like, nah, this is still like triple the amount we would pay for your Chinese school. Then the school came back and said, okay, well, how about you just pay for boarding?
Yeah.
So then that was like when my parents were like, okay, fine. If it's the same as Chinese school, like we're not paying a single cent more. So yeah, so then I went to the international school and it was just so spoiled, I would say. You know, people like the kids were like, oh my gosh, the Wi-Fi is off. Let's protest.
And I guess the studying was less intense, right?
Yeah,
less homework.
They're more on like being creative and being like self-motivated and stuff like that. And a lot of them are kids of diplomats or like really big companies and like CEOs' children. And they were really, I would say, spoiled. Like, oh, like who bought the newest MacBook and stuff like that. But then you go to China education and you think, well, okay, there's no electronics allowed. So it's a really different type of education. And I would say if you're here to learn Mandarin, the only way you can do it for your kids is to go to Chinese school.
All right. And then you went on to university in Xiamen.
Yeah.
And you got a scholarship. Tell us a little bit about the choice of, both university, career, and how did the scholarship happen?
So I had an option of 3 universities. One was too close, one was too far. And I was like, okay, I want the weekends with my parents if I would choose to. So I decided Xiamen, which is beautiful. It's like an island. It's the closest point to Taiwan of China. So that's like a little reference. So there's a lot of fisherman history behind it. And it was just only starting to become a tourist destination and a popular place. So I chose Xiamen because it was just really close and beautiful. And there was like bullet train back and forth. So I chose my bachelor because actually as a foreigner going to university here, there aren't that many options as far as bachelor degrees. So a lot of people choose education like ESL, so Chinese second language. So you can learn teaching Chinese as a second language as your bachelor. Then that was what my sister did. Then I chose to do international business and economics. But all of these programs are in language. So even though I studied in international economics, I don't get a economics degree. It's a Chinese language degree in economics and business background.
Now, the Xiamen University, it's known for having a lot of foreign students.
Yeah, and
right? But not like you, people that grew up here.
They do a lot of exchange programs with like Italian universities and like German universities.
So a lot of Westerners there. But what do they study? I mean, they study Chinese.
So because they just do their year abroad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they do like a year abroad where they have to go abroad and study. So that's what they do. So it's not a bachelor.
When your classes were in Chinese or in English?
So my bachelors were all in Chinese until I did my master's, which was in English. And that was the first time in my whole life I've studied in English. It was so weird because it's a Chinese law professor lecturing you in English. And I'm like, I don't get this.
And before you talked about the scholarship, right?
Yeah.
So you said something about the quota. That was very interesting, right?
Yeah. So what Chinese scholarships do is it's called the CSC, China Scholarship Council. So if you guys are interested, you guys can go ahead and search that. And it's a great scholarship. Full payment of your tuition, insurance, books, and a monthly stipend. So for your bachelor, it would be, I think it's around 2,300, which is like if you're living at the dorms and you're a student and
That's
you don't,
enough.
yeah, it's really enough. And I know some people who spend 600 RMB and then save the rest for like a travel, like a trip. So
students in the US, you think you're crazy right now.
I know
but
they probably do, but it's like it's a really good. I mean,
It's enough for
I think
beer.
they're crazy because they're going to college in
Right,
the US, paying
right.
what, like
Getting
With what their
humongous
parents-
loans.
student
Or what their
loans
parents
until
saved all
they're
their life,
30.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I actually did consider going to university in the US, but I was like, do I really want to come out of debt? And I tried to apply for a bunch of scholarships, and they're like, okay, so if you want to apply in Germany, where's your German graduation certificate? You need a German proficiency. And I'm like, oh, I've never been there, so I don't have that. So I apply.
9.
So then I apply as an American to Germany, and then Germany goes, wait, where's your SAT scores? I'm like, okay, so I can't do that. So it was like my
So
whole
this-
nationality.
This
So
scholarship though to
Yeah,
study
sorry.
here, you got that right, and you said there is a quota, and
Yeah.
and that it's not fully
Utilized.
And but you did study in Chinese, so like let's say there is an American from wherever in America, and they're thinking, oh, that's cool, I can send my kid there, or
yeah.
but it's not like anyone from America can come and do that, right?
You can,
You need
anyone.
to speak. Is
Oh,
it,
yeah,
is
okay.
it
So
in
you do
Chinese?
have like
Oh.
a Mandarin proficiency test. So I don't know if you guys know, like a TOEFL or IELTS is like something like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Or
just
HSK.
it's called
Yeah,
HSK.
HSK, right.
So it's like it's just a proficiency test, and they go from level 1 to 6. So that's the levels that
And
you would
you're
get.
6 easily.
I'm 6. Yeah. So if you're actually really interesting fact is like if you get a 5 or 5 will get you enrolled into really good universities.
Okay.
6 you have to get a 6 now to graduate. So within your
By the end of
university,
the
time of
you have to
studies.
have a
But
valid
to be
6.
accepted, what do you
5.
need? You need 5.
Yeah.
So a kid in America
no,
doesn't
it-
speak Chinese, cannot do that.
No.
You need to
can't. You would have
be-
to have like some Mandarin. And I honestly, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I know I'm saying it as like someone that's grown up here, but I have some classmates that have like really, I would say, poor Mandarin, and they still got in. And so if you have level 6,
No, it can't be that poor.
no, but no, they would have level 5, and it's.
I think
it's
I'm HSK 1.
Yeah. So, like HSK 1 or 2 would be pinging level.
Yes,
So
yes,
3,
exactly.
That's my level.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I took
3,
one just to
yeah.
try, and I passed.
Yeah.
Just get one.
Yeah, so there you go. So then
Yeah.
you like 3 would be starting to get into characters.
Right.
4 would be intermediate, and then 5
Right.
would be a little bit more in depth. Yeah.
Right.
So then if you get level 6, if you get enrolled with level 5 Mandarin, you can skip 2 years of university.
Right.
So you
Wow.
automatically start the 3rd year of your university.